violence and bullying and teen homosexuality. And as I was saying, the young lady, the fighting.
Boom, boom.
Yes, and don't go get weapons. The young lady.
Weapons of our warfare, not
carnal. And the young lady ended up, she killed herself, and her mom has to bury her. So what they did, all the children that were bullying her, it was 6 teenagers. They're charging the 6 teenagers and the teachers that knew she was being bullied. And so now they have an actual case going because she actually took her life. And they don't feel that they should be held accountable. Oh, yes, you should be held accountable. But my child can't come and get her education because there are some other kids that has a problem with my child being different. All children are not the same. And because she was different, they felt the need to bully her, so now they're charging all of them. But on another sad note, this up and promising football player in FIU.
Oh, my goodness.
Everything going for him. And they just buried him, but his parents, the bravery of his parents, and the peace that was on the parents. What happened with him, he was at the weight room working out, and his girlfriend had an altercation with a young man about her food, so she went to go and get her boyfriend, and in the process of going to get her boyfriend, this young man came and he stabbed him to death. Now, this young man was in his almost last year of college, destined to be a professional football player, and his life has been snatched away at a college campus, and all the children are grieving. They're trying to put the pieces back together, but it's sad that his life had to be taken. When they talked about him, he was respectable. He loved people. He loved God, and he loved his family. It is sad that someone with a mentality that they could just snap and take his life without cause just because you want something that don't belong to you. So you take his life. And it's sad to say, I just think that young man ought to be dealt with accordingly. He has taken a life. And no, yes, we forgive, but he has to be punished. It just can't go unpunished. And this has been a constant, even in little children. I have a young lady that attends our church, and her name is Laisha, and she calls this girl Respucia, because Respucia is a very large young lady, and what Respucia was doing was tormenting all the children in the area. As soon as you got on the bus, she would hit you so hard that she would knock you out. And Laisha kept coming to me, what do I do? I said, run. And she goes, well, Pastor, you always tell me to run. How long am I supposed to run? I can't do it anymore. I went to the principal. I went to my mom. My mom went to her mom. But this young lady is a big young lady, and once she grabs me, it's over. So I said, you can't fight her, but don't let her beat you down. I said, try to avoid her. And she did all of that. So when she knew that the altercation was getting ready to take place, because Respucia not only beat girls, she beat boys.
Wow.
So Asia, unfortunately, had to strategize. So her mom taught her how to actually fight back. So when Respucia came, she hit Respucia first, actually, and just completely, it was by, I'm sorry to say, but it had to be by the power of the Lord, just knocked her out, and from that point on, the girl mother took her out of school, transferred her to another school, so none of the kids have to worry about Respucia bullying them anymore. But what do we do to help these children that are going through this?
I know sometimes I've seen instances where that does happen, where the bully does get stood up to, and the bully gets taken down, because every dog has their day, you know. But again, you have to pay attention to your children, and if also too, parents, if you suspect that your child is a bully, let me tell you something, okay? You know your children, all right, and you know how your children can be. Let's just keep it real, all right? And you can hear your children when they play with other kids and see how they interact with other kids. If you see, I'm going to be honest with you, because I know my son. And I know how my son sometimes can really, you know, hurt children, okay? When he was younger, he would hurt children, get on their nerves, and do stuff to them. Now, see, I'm being honest. And what you have to do is you have to sit your child down and teach your child what to do and what not to do when they're playing with other children, okay? You have to do the same thing. If you see your son or daughter interacting with children, and children be like, oh, and scared of them, or acting a certain way with them, and you see them sit down and, just being nasty to the children. You need to pull your child aside and say, that ain't right. That's not how we treat people.
That's right.
That's not the things that you do.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, potentially that seed will grow, and then that tree will manifest into a big, huge bush.
Yes.
And before you know it, someone's calling you saying, oh, we got a problem, Miss So-and-so, you need to come down to the school. We need to talk about your child because your child is a bully.
That's right.
Because you didn't want to reprimand your child from the get-go when he was younger, treating your nieces and your nephews. Because you're gonna catch it in your house.
That's
Trust
right.
me.
That's
you're
right.
going to see it if you're paying attention.
That's right. Being
attentive. And this, I want to bring up the young man from Pompano Beach, little boy who suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns.
Yes.
They set him on fire over a video game. A video game and $50. And that's just horrid. And then an innocent bystander looks at the whole thing and says nothing. America, are we that afraid?
Come on now.
I mean, it don't take nothing for an anonymous call to 911.
That's right.
I'm sick of this.
That's right.
Stop walking by seeing this stuff.
That's right.
Enough is enough with this.
That's right.
Oh, God, help me. Don't walk by. Okay?
That's right.
Obviously, if God is letting you see it, He's letting you see it for a reason.
Yes.
Call 911.
Yes.
Tell them you wish to remain anonymous. You will remain anonymous, and make that phone call because you never know whose son or daughter you're saving. And you never know because what goes around comes around.
That's right.
The shoe might be on the other foot, and you might be in a terrible situation.
Wow.
Would you like that person to walk past you and not call 911? Or to walk past you and not assist you at a time of despair or a time of need? So again, America, we need to wake up. When we see someone in trouble, doesn't necessarily mean we get involved. Call 911.
That's right.
I'm quick to call 911.
Me also.
And my husband is like, leave them people alone.
No.
I ain't leaving them people alone because
Prevent
God showed me that for a reason.
That's right.
I'm calling 911.
That's right. And we're passionate about this. because It's too much. You can see a man beating a woman on the street, and we just keep walking. I mean, here in Pompano Beach, it's called ghetto fight. They take the camera. They all jump in the car. They go to the house of the victim that's going to fight. They knock on the door. The victim comes out fighting. They're fighting. The mother's fighting. The children. And they're filming this stuff. And they're selling it on DVDs. And people think this is cute. They're even doing it with the dogs. One of those tapes ended up in my house. And I told my husband, yes, I'm going to say I'm taking it straight to the police department because this does not make any sense. Somebody has to stand up. Even in New York, most recently, a girl got off the bus, the train. The girl started jumping her. They have security there. Did you see that? But the security cannot stop the fight. They stomped her in her head. They stomped her in her back. They kicked her. They slammed her. They did all these things. And the security has the audacity to say that we can't touch anybody because it's in our contract. So if she got murdered there because she was in a coma, because they're saying that somebody has to stand up and say, okay, you have 6 girls beating one girl. She's running for her life. She's running to you for help. You tell me you can't stand up and help her?
And I would sue, excuse my French, the hell out of them. Okay?
That's just crazy.
I would sue them flat, cold turkey. There's no way that you can tell me there was nothing that they can do. That's ridiculous.
Nothing.
That's horrid. And they have to put themselves in the person's shoes.
Yes, that's
How
right.
could you not do nothing because it's in contract? What the security officers are trying to say is, we don't want to put ourselves in liability, so we're just going to sit back and take it. Well, if that's the case, if you can't do anything, call the police.
Call the police.
They can do something.
That's right.
Call the police.
They did nothing to help this girl. And they had it live on USA Today, and they had it live on Channel 10. And they were short of it because everybody was in awe. How can you let this? She's standing there. She's being kicked. She was being beaten. And then they snatched and stole all of her belongings. America, we got to stand up for what's right.
We'll be right back.